All right. Is there anything? And is she allowed to appear by Zoom or you want her
No,
in person?
she's got to be here.
All right. So they're requesting that you be in person. And y'all are proceeding with contested.
Yes, sir.
Two 2024 CR 5495 State versus Joshua Mackey. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Rick Payne for the state of Texas, but I believe it should be 2014.
Okay, so here's the thing. Y'all need to slow it down because the court reporter has to take everything down and everyone is going to have to raise your voice.
Rick Payne for the state of Texas.
For the
Kelly Piddle for Joshua Mackey.
And are you Joshua Mackey?
That's for Mackey.
All right, and let me see here. And is the date on the motion to revoke, what is the date you all have for when it was filed?
There's two, Your Honor. The original motion to adjudication of guilt was from February of 2025.
Just one moment. Probation, can I have a copy of the motions to revoke?
Yes.
Because I don't have the right filing date.
While I don't know if the one that you do have though is state supplemental motion, which was from March of this year.
I don't have any of that.
Okay.
One thing, Judge.
Okay. All right. Are you the same Joshua Mackey who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2014 CR 5495 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on April 6, 2015 for a period of 10 years? Is that you? And have you had a chance to review the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation with your attorney? These documents, have you reviewed those?
We've reviewed each other. And his reasons. Institutions. No.
All right. Have you had a chance to review those with your attorney?
Yes.
Say yes or no.
Yes.
All right. Do you understand them? All right. State.
Before we continue, Your Honor, maybe go off record for 1 second.
Sure.
If we're going to proceed with the contested, one of our witnesses is a Harris County probation officer who is on the Zoom. I want to make sure that defense is okay with us proceeding that way.
We're going to object under the Sixth Amendment and due process.
They say they're going to object to your witness appearing by Zoom.
In that case, Your Honor, we would ask for a recess so we can have her available to come and drive in to testify in person.
All right. Just one moment. And who is this? Is it Jessica Hera?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I respond?
Yes.
We were set on this case last Monday when the court set it for contested. It's my understanding, and the state can correct me if I'm wrong, they subpoenaed the witness sometime this morning between 10 and 11 a.m. Knowing that we were set for contested this morning, we ask that you deny their continuance.
All right. The court will recall this case. The court will recall it for 3:30.
Okay. May I? Okay, 3:30. Okay.
All right. So, Officer Heron, we'll need you in Bexar County. The defense has objected to your appearance by Zoom. So I'll need you here by 3:30.
I'm in Harris County.
And is that Houston?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what is the drive time from Houston to here?
It's not like 4 hours.
All right. So, we'll have you here then by 4:30. Is that possible?
I have to see because I have to pick up my son from daycare as well.
All right. Just let us know.
Yes, ma'am.
if it doesn't work out, Your Honor, can we get it reset until Monday?
No.
Let's see where we are at this afternoon. So everyone is to come back in the afternoon.
Okay.
What time, Judge?
Let's say 4:30. I don't know what the issues are in Houston. And Officer Herring, if
Yes, ma'am.
you're able to be here well before then.
I have to speak with the supervisor about it because I didn't know I was gonna be needed in Bear County.
Okay. All right. The state and the defense will be able to speak with you probably. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And they'll let me know something. All right. Thank you.
Can you ask her if she comes? I want her to bring her complete file.
We do have the probation officer in their account here. Is there any way that we can proceed with her testimony so that?
Yes.
We can get her out of the way, yes. And
Yes.
for hers.
So he needs to go on the record on whether he's pleading true or not true. All right. Thank you so much, Officer Herring.
No problem.
All right. You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Violation condition number 5, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Joshua Mackay, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of March 2025 in violation of condition number 5.
Are you plead to that true or not true?
Not true.
State?
May I call witness, Your Honor?
Well, I mean, are you going to read the other violations?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Violation condition number 1, on or about the 7th day of February 2025 in Harris County, Texas, the defendant, Joshua Mackay, committed the offense of assault in violation of condition number 1.
Are you plead to that true or not true?
Not true. Violation condition number 15FF. On or about the 31st day of January 2025 in Harris County, Texas, the defendant, Joshua Mackay, did then and there fail to register for, attend an outpatient treatment program in violation condition number 15FF.
Are you plead to that true or not true?
Not true. The state will waive the other violation, Your Honor.
Any objection to the waiver of 10D?
No.
All right, state, you may call your witness.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, state would call Miss Jessica Fuentes.
All right, if you'll stand here, please. Hello, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jessica Fuentes.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Fuentes.
Good morning.
How are you currently employed?
I'm employed with Bear County CSCD,
And what does CSCD stand for?
Community Supervision and Corrections Department.
And what are some of your normal duties and responsibilities? Oh, excuse me, strike that question. What is your current job title with them?
It is Assistant Probation Officer.
Okay, what are some of your normal duties and responsibilities in that position?
I supervise cases that transfer out of state and out of county. So most of my contract is with states and counties.
During the course of your work in that position, did you have an occasion to come into contact with a case involving Mr. Joshua Mackay?
Yes.
How did you come into contact with that case?
The case was assigned to me in July of 2020.
Okay, what happened when the case was assigned to you in July of 2020?
He was on supervision with Harris County.
Okay, and once you became aware that he was under supervision in Harris County, what did you do at that point?
Notified Harris County that I was the new assigned officer.
Okay, so from that point in time, did you have any further interaction, or was all his supervision from that point with Harris County?
Everything from that point was from Harris County.
Okay, did the probation officer in Harris County check in with you every now and then regarding this case specifically?
They sent me a report in I believe January.
What happened after you received that report?
I was taking note that he has.
I'm going to object to hearsay, Judge.
Sustain.
Without saying specifically, like, what was your involvement after you received that?
I was notified of his progress.
Okay, and were you notified of any type of successful completion of his probation from Harris County?
I'm
No,
going to object to hearsay again, Judge.
All right, that'll be sustained.
To your knowledge, has Mr. Mackay successfully completed, in your review of your own case file, his probation?
Object to hearsay.
Sustained.
She can testify about her own review of her own case file, Your Honor.
The objection will be sustained.
To your knowledge, is Mr. Mackay still currently on probation?
yes,
To your knowledge, does he have conditions that remain outstanding?
yes,
Object to hearsay.
That'll be overruled.
To your knowledge, what are some of the conditions that he has outstanding?
Object to hearsay, Judge. She's testifying from her knowledge from a document, not an evidence.
If you all make your legal objections, I'll respond to
Sure.
the legal objection. Your objection is the hearsay.
Hearsay, lack of personal knowledge.
All right, that will be sustained.
In your general course of working in your current position, are probationers required to check in regularly with the probation department?
not with their account.
Not
Do
with-
you mean with the,
I'm not talking about this case anymore. I'm talking about in general. And to your knowledge, in your current position and in your experience as a probation officer of Bear County, is one thing that all probationers have to do is to check in regularly.
yes,
Okay. Your knowledge, did Joshua Mackay ever check in with you regularly?
Object to hearsay.
That'll be overruled with regards to whether or not he checked in with her.
Did he ever check in with you regularly?
no,
Was he required to check in with you regularly?
no,
At any point in time after his probation from Harris County stopped being monitored, was he required to check in with you?
Yeah.
When was he required to check in with you?
as soon as this case.
An object to relevance. An object to relevance. It's not.
Overruled.
You may answer the question.
As soon as this case was returned to Bear County
To your knowledge, when was this case returned to Bear County?
in March of.
Object to hearsay.
Overruled.
And what was the response? I'm sorry?
March of 25.
What happens in March of 25 when the case was transferred back to Bear County?
He was to either report by calling or in person.
Did he ever report to you over the phone?
No.
In March of 2025?
No.
Did he ever report to you in person in March of 2025?
No,
After he did not report to you for the month of March of 2025, what did you then do?
I submitted a supplemental MTR with failure to report for the month of March.
We have just a brief moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you. I called her meeting clear. No further questions at this time, Mayor. I'll pass the witness.
Can I have the court summary? You said your name was Ms. Fuentes?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you bring the chronologicals for this case?
Not printed out.
Okay. Do you have any proof to the court that Mr. Mackey was advised to report to Bear County other than your testimony today?
No, I don't.
You have any proof that Mr. Mackey was notified that his case was transferred back to Bear County? Do you have any proof of that?
I don't have proof of that.
That's what it's.
Just one question, if I may, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ms. Fuentes, you were asked by the defense about the Cronus that I guess you didn't bring with you. Would you have the ability to print that out at this time?
Yes,
Okay, and Your Honor, would Your Honor allow a minute for her to do so? That's my only,
So any other questions of this witness?
not of this witness, no.
Any
No.
other questions? All right. So then that will leave, oh, sorry, you may be excused. That will leave the witness from Harris County. But since the court has received testimony on violation of condition number 5, does anyone wish to argue with regards to whether that is true or not true, or what the evidence showed?
I can make an argument, and then I guess defense can make his argument if that's okay.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, as you know, the burden of proof at these types of hearings is by abundance of evidence. You heard testimony from the witness that while the defendant was not directly under her supervision, he was in Harris County being supervised out there. Once his case got transferred back to Bexar County, he was required to check in with his Bexar County probation officer, and he failed to do so. He never called. He never reported in person. He knows and should know throughout the 10 years that he's been on probation that that is one of his normal duty responsibilities as a probation officer, to check in with the probation officer. So upon him being notified that he was being transferred back to Bexar County from Harris County, he should have checked in. He didn't check in, and we feel that that violation has been proven today, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
And we would ask also, I'm sorry to interrupt, the court to take judicial notice of the court file for this case.
Judge, they have to prove that he knew to report to Bexar County. There's no testimony from this probation officer that he was advised that he was to report to Bexar County, or that his probation was transferred back from Bexar County. So they haven't proven that allegation based upon the testimony of their own officer.
All right. The court is going to find violation of condition.
Yeah, sorry.
Condition number 5 true. The court will await the witness from Harris County, if the witness from Harris County is able to appear, to hear any testimony, if there is any testimony with regards to violations 1 and 15 FF.
Okay. I want to keep Ms. Fuentes subject to recall.
All right, Ms. Fuentes, you're subject for recall. Somebody needs you back here this afternoon. All right, is there anything? And is she allowed to appear by Zoom, or you want her
No,
in person?
she's got to be here.
All right, so they're requesting that you be in person. All right.
Will the court withhold their finding as to condition number 5 until both sides have had an opportunity to present its case?
The court has found violation of condition number 5 true. If for some reason there is testimony that is presented that causes the court to reconsider based upon any other evidence, the court will of course reconsider.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What time did you say?
Probably 4.
Okay.
Much later.
All right, we're back on the record in 2014 CR 5495 State versus Joshua Mackey. If I could have parties re-announce, please.
Defendant for the state of Texas. And Kelly Fiddle for Joshua Mackey.
All right, and this is a continuation of the hearing that was started this morning. State, any witnesses?
Fortunately, it's not having markers.
All right, defense, any witnesses?
Defense rest, Judge.
All right, the court has found violation of condition number 5 true. The court is going to find violation of condition number 1 not true. The court is going to find 15 FF not true. All right, any objection to the court reviewing the court summary?
None from the state.
Can I see it?
And for the record, the court has not reviewed the court summary.
Can I remove the violation reports?
You'll have to speak with probation about it because that's their court summary.
I have no problem with you speaking to the court summary, but not the violation reports, since they were not. Okay, that's right. No objection, Judge.
Oh,
Oh, you have your own? Sorry.
No, I don't.
oh, okay, then, yeah, that's just.
All right, so what portion are you all asking me not to read?
Yeah, I didn't realize that the violation reports are already in the court's file that you,
Yes.
that's taken judicial notice of, so no objection, Judge.
Okay.
And if we could just have time for a brief argument after.
Yes. Oh, and counsel, I don't have a trial court certification.
We'll get you one, Judge.
Okay. Oh, do you want to grab that while I read this?
Sure.
And State Defense and Mr. Mackey, I see that there's a condition of number 1 in here. I previously said that that condition is not true.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm not going to consider that because I found it not true. And it's the same, the mention of condition 15FF. I've also found that not true.
Thank you, Judge. The state has waived this condition 10D, but I just wanted to bring it to the court's attention that the restitution is paid in full.
So was the restitution 36,000 or was it 44,775?
It was, what he owed was the 4,000 number.
Okay.
The total was the 36. The 4,000 was paid.
All right, the court has reviewed the court summary and the court has reviewed the document that the defense asked the court to review. State, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, you've taken judicial notice of the entire court file. You're aware of the facts of this case, the egregious nature of them, involving shooting the victim through the head, the right temple, exiting out the left side of her face. Very well could have killed her. Thank God it didn't. Otherwise, we'd be here on a different charge. So given the facts of the case, given that the defendant is on his second MTR since he had been placed on probation, and given the one true violation you found, Your Honor, State would ask for him to be revoked, adjudicated guilty, and sentenced to 10 years TDC.
All right, just one moment. I'm just trying to find in the court's file, I'm trying to find the admonishments page. Were you all able to see that, the admonishments page?
I don't recall, Judge.
If you could, and everyone, just one moment. Yes, thank you. All right, so as a part of your plea bargaining agreement that was entered into, the state was silent on your application. So I'll note that for the record.
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense, the state is asking for revocation and they're asking that your client be sentenced to 10 years in the prison. What are you requesting?
Judge, we're asking that you deny the MTR and terminate his probation. In regards to the facts of the original case, I believe I represented him at the time of his plea, and the complainant was okay with him getting probation. Judge Hilbig gave him probation, gave him jail time as a condition. In between when Mr. Mackey committed his offense and when he pled, Mr. Mackey was shot in the head and almost died.
Mm-hmm.
That affected his brain functioning. He had a TBI and went through competency and was competent to stand trial. In regards to this being a second MTR, the state waived the first MTR, so it's not really something that the court we believe should consider. And we asked the court to reconsider that true finding. And the reason we asked that, Judge, is if you review those conditions of probation that are in the court's file, I've never had a contested MTR in which the state didn't either have the probation officer who read him those conditions testify that he signed those conditions, or number two, have someone, a fingerprint examiner, come in and testify that that thumbprint matches Mr. Mackey's thumbprint. The state has failed to prove that Mr. Mackey signed those conditions of probation, that he had knowledge of those conditions of probation, and therefore nothing could be found true because they haven't proved that he is the person who signed these conditions. In addition, what I testified to earlier and what Ms. Fuentes testified to was that there was no testimony or evidence presented by the state that Mr. Mackey knew to report to probation. There's nothing in those conditions that say, if this case gets transferred back to Bexar County, you must report to Bexar County probation. All it says is condition number 5 is report as directed to Bexar County. Well, we know that wasn't an actual condition of Mr. Mackey because he lived in Harris County. He was reporting to Harris County this entire time. Now, if the court still finds that it's true that he violated condition number 5, the court can do so, and we respect that. But we ask the court to review the totality of the case and that they have proven that he failed to report for 1 month out of 120 months. That's 0.8% of the time that they allege that he failed to report. And we ask that you consider what they've alleged and what they've proven and deny the MTR and release Mr. Mackey from this probation.
All right, the court is, as previously stated, the court is finding 5 true, 1 not true, 15 FF not true. The court will find the defendant guilty, grant the motion, revoke. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And I don't.
The admonishment from the in the second picture, I can find it in this file.
Oh, the clerk printed it out. I couldn't find it either. I'm trying to see because I'm not the one who did the plea. The previous.
Are you looking for the bargain number?
I have the plea bargain, but there are no mention of no contact or I'm sorry, there are no mentions of any no contact orders. So
I have.
I'm sorry, counsel, do you have the trial court certification?
I haven't had him sign it yet, Judge. I need to explain to him.
Want to see?
Yes, please. All right, there's to be no contact. There's to be no residing in any households with minors. And the court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else?
We ask for findings, in fact, and conclusions of law.
Understood.